Oh, hey there. I'm student producer Torian Smith, and you are now watching MATC Now.
The creative spark lives in us all. Our MATC community members get to flex their creativity in many different ways. We will look into how the staff flex their creativity to help students start their careers. We'll also check out a program that requires as much creativity as it does rigid thinking. All this and more on this week's episode of MATC Now. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of MATC Now. I'm your host, James Charles. Thanks for joining us. I'm here today with my co-host, Mark Burgers, our Associate Dean. Mark, welcome to the program.
Glad to be here. Thanks, James.
Now, one of the things that I know you're most excited about is our upcoming event for Create the Spark. Elevator pitch, what is that and why should we be excited about it?
Well, Create the Spark is a unique event. It's our annual showcase of creative arts, media, and design pathway programs and student work. So it's kind of like an open house on steroids. There's food tastings, there's portfolio showcases, there's live music. It's a lot of fun.
Well, you had me at the food tastings, Mark, but we will chat about that a little bit more coming up. But for now, you know, summer break is upon us. It's coming up. And if you plan to gather up your friends for a road trip, well, you may need to take that car into the shop and make sure it's in tip-top shape. We have an old familiar face coming to us as our field correspondent, Maya Norman. Where are you today with that vehicle?
Thanks, James. Today we are trading in our textbooks for toolboxes. Stay tuned because we're inside the automotive program where engines roar and futures are built. Buckle up.
Hey, thanks, Maya. I can't wait to learn more about that. So we'll check out what you have for us in the auto shop coming up. While most students are focused on finding their place on campus, MATC Students Recruiter is focused on helping others find their place. Student producer Latea Booker meets with an MATC student recruiter who's turning life-changing experiences into college tours. But first, student passion reporter Lasierra Flowers and student producer Darius Jackson sit down with Nathaniel Lynn and listen to the calming sounds of violin music.
The calming sound of the violin has been around for 500 plus years. From concert halls to street corners, the violin has told stories all over the world. Known as one of the hardest instruments to play, to learn requires a trained ear and precise finger placement. I'm student reporter Lasierra Flowers, and this is your Student Passion Report. Learning an instrument at any age can be a difficult task. This string instrument especially can be rough on beginners learning to understand accurate pitches. Graduating student Nathaniel Lynn of the Audio Engineering program is a violinist whose strings speak louder than words.
I started playing the violin at the age of 3 pretty early on when my parents started my sister, who was 3.5 years older than me. They thought it was a good idea that I follow suit in that, and basically I just never stopped. Playing the violin became a passion for me via my private teachers. I had a moment where I made one of my private teachers kind of break down because he understood how kind of my brain worked as opposed to my sister, who he also taught. So that kind of inspired me to keep playing. It was definitely a deep moment, and I'd say it happened when I was around 16. But my motivation before that was just the fact that I really liked music.
What makes the violin stand out from playing any other instruments?
What makes the violin stand out from playing any other instruments is that the violin is one of those things that kind of presents a human voice, so to speak. But it's really that orchestral backbone instrument. It's not the cello, nor is it the viola, because the viola is almost a second to the violin. Learning the violin has benefited my way of thinking, yes, because now I can read fluently treble clef music. No matter what instrument I play, I can just apply that knowledge onto the sheet music. It's just something in my repertoire. For anyone wanting to pursue music, I would definitely tell them to really think about their inspiration. When they listen to music, kind of what emotions are evoked within them, because that's what's going to help you find the instrument you want to play. That's going to make you more inspired to play the music. And basically, whatever inspires you, whatever provokes your sonic kind of precedent, I would say go off of that.
As a great once said, one good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. Nathaniel Lynn reminds us that melody isn't just sound, it's memory and meaning combined into one. I'm student reporter Lasierra Flowers, and this was your Student Passion Report.
Anisha Denson is a dedicated MATC recruiter helping students take charge of their future through powerful, career-focused education.
What inspired me in a career of recruitment? So I was working in Milwaukee Public Schools, and unfortunately we did not receive a Gear Up grant. I was working for Gear Up, and it's highly competitive. So I was starting to look for new careers. I could continue to work for Milwaukee Public Schools, but I was ready to move on and just started applying for jobs. I wanted to work in the college setting, higher education, and I just so happened to apply for a job called Gateway Technical College. And Gateway, it's called New Student Specialist. What I really liked about it is that right in the job description it said that you'd be working with high school students and going into the high schools. And I knew that I still wanted that connection with the high school students. And what was very funny is that I interviewed and was declined the job. And so I was very sad. And a couple months later they actually ended up calling me and asking me if I was still interested in the role. How has my approach to recruitment evolved over the years from when I first began? I've learned that I need to tell my story to my students. They need that connection, that one-on-one. I think a lot, especially with high school students, they forget that the adult was once a teenager like them. So I tell them where I started off, how I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. In fact, I majored my first freshman year at Mount Mary University. I was a nursing major, didn't graduate as a nursing major. And they're like, oh, okay, so you didn't know what you wanted to be, so that's okay. And that makes them feel like that personalized, that conversation, like, okay, she's not here to push something on me. I think that's another thing with students. They do not want you to push your college on them, but they do want to have that relationship with you. It's really important to have building a relationship. People don't want their high school student to go off to a 2-year. They want them to push for a 4-year. And sometimes it's best to start off at the 2-year. And there's nothing wrong. MATC has over 180 programs. And we have our liberal arts, associate of arts, associate science program where students can get their general eds and move on to the UW system or a private school, and they can go right into the major of their chosen. So really, they can get that bachelor's degree, but it's okay to start off, and it's not hurting their pockets.
Anisha does such an amazing job helping bring the next generation of MATC students through that door.
Yeah, you know, students are exploring their passions here, and that's really important.
Cars are a fundamental form of transportation. Students here at MATC are learning how to make sure your automobiles stay up and running. Field correspondent Maya Norman is checking out the automotive facilities to see just what the students can use to keep those cars on the open road. Maya.
James, Hi, today we are at MATC's downtown campus. We're getting an inside look into the automotive program. Here joining us today, we have the project manager for the MATC Drive program, Steve Harrow. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about the program, the automotive program, and the MATC Drive program that you offer here.
Absolutely. Well, we're here at the El Hervis Peak Transportation Center, which is our newest shop here downtown, and we teach the Automotive Maintenance Technical Diploma program here, which is really cool because it's just 2 semesters of all auto pretty much, and they learn electrical, engine controls, brake steering, suspension, engines, just about everything, and prepares them for really good jobs in the industry. And the MATC Drive program is a program I manage, and it's actually myself and my staff that are embedded at all 3 campuses where we teach automotive, and it's really a student support system, and we've been doing it for about 7.5 years and had great results. So we're really happy about it.
Awesome, thank you so much. So what's over here?
Well, the first thing we do whenever we're in the shop is we put on our safety equipment. So students are always required to wear safety equipment when working in the shop because there are dangers in this. So you have nice clothes on, so you can put the jacket on and get your safety glasses on. And if we're working on dirty car parts, you're certainly welcome to put on the gloves as well. And because safety is always first whenever you're in the shop. So that's the first thing we always do, and that's the first thing we teach our students as well.
Awesome. Walk me through what a typical day might look like for a student.
Well, a typical day is they always start in lecture, and they lecture for about an hour or so. Then right away they come out and do hands-on work on what they just learned. So, you know, you're not lecturing for a week and then in the shop. We do it in close proximity, so the learning experience seems to be really, really good.
That's super cool. Tell me a little bit about the partnerships that you have with local employers and about the Hot Rod crew.
Well, obviously our job here is to get students ready for employment. And we found that if you bring the employers in, not just standing up front, but actually in the shop itself, and we have something we call the Hot Rod crew, which is once a week from 3 to 5 on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and they actually get to mentor the students on their own projects, not on our shop cars, but on their cars, their friends' cars, their parents' cars, and they get to mentor them, and they each get to know each other, so it makes that transition to employment much easier for our students.
Amazing. Talk about the MATC Campus Car Show coming up on May 31st.
Well, the car show we've run for the past 8 years, and it's at the Oak Creek campus. It's always the Saturday after Memorial Day. It's super fun. It's open to the general public. But if you have that special car you want to show, it's only $10. And you can enter that. And our students actually work the show. So they're the ones that park everything, and it's a really good experience for them as well. But it's family friendly.
That's awesome. Tell me one piece of advice you might give a promising student.
You know, it's really, really fun when you solve a problem. And I always tell students, you really want to be curious, and you got to have a little bit of that detective work in there. And the customers love it when you fix their car for them because they don't want to be there. So
cool. Well, thank you so much, Steve Harrow, the program manager here at the MATC Drive program. Thank you so much for showing us around the automotive program.
Absolutely. Come anytime.
Will do. And we are going to continue our spark down here. Back to you, James, in the studio.
Thanks, Maya. The automotive program seems like a great place for students to learn all they need before entering the workforce.
Yes, and it is one beautiful facility as well.
Absolutely. Students in MATC's electronics engineering program are quite literally learning how to make sparks. Student producers Isabella Riveros and Christopher Rayner analyze the program. But first, student producers Ben Kodrowski and Azael Alvarez tell a story of a student exploring the programs of MATC, following a student who seeks to find the right path.
I've always had a hard time finding my interest. What motivates me to get up in the morning? My spark. My lack of motivation has gotten to the point where I'm not even sure what college program to pick out.
Come on in.
Hi, I'm looking for a college program right now, and I just kind of wanted to ask you about the Baking and Pastry Arts program and what it has to offer.
The associate's degree in baking is going to cover all of your basics in the first year, but then in the second year, you get to deep dive into the advanced techniques, including the cake decorating. The cake decorating class will touch on all the cake decorating mediums that are existing at the moment. So we work on gum paste, we work on fondant, we learn how to make those from scratch. And then within the cake decorating class, there are opportunities for the students to challenge themselves with the gingerbread competition that we run through this room, and also the statewide baking competition that showcases cake decorating techniques.
Thank you for all your information today. I'll definitely keep it in mind. All right, have a nice day. Excuse me, I was just wondering if I'd be able to talk to you for a moment.
Hey, come on in.
I'm looking for a program to apply to and was interested in what you got going on here. What can you tell me about this program?
This program is called the Electric Power Distribution Program here at MATC. And what this program entails is working on overhead power lines. We teach our students how to climb poles and how to work the overhead power conductors that are actually attached to the poles. And we also use hand tools, from regular manual tools like a regular hammer or a screwdriver. We also have battery operated tools that we use in the form of chainsaws, and that's for as an example. And then we also have hydraulic tools that we use. So it's a number of different types of tooling that we use in the program as well.
After narrowing down my options, I've realized that multiple different areas have ignited the spark I so desperately needed. I also realized that I left my backpack here all day. I really hope nothing was stolen.
It's no secret that one of the most rapidly growing and important careers today is in engineering and electronics. MATC's instructor of electrical engineering, David Schmoker, is eager to share his expertise with his students. With 28 years of experience in the industry, David understands what students need to become successful as they exit the program.
What our program is, what we're doing is we're building a supply of excellent, well-qualified electronics people to support roles in industry, be they in power electronics, defense technology, telecommunications, automation, medical field, any of the above. We're basically working to fill graduates in those industry needed places.
MATC provides many different pathways in the STEM field. Prospective students who have an interest in math and especially curiosity for electronics should look no further. Emiliano is a student whose background in music led him to choose the electrical engineering path.
Yeah, my background has been mostly, I think it was mostly brought up by music and pedals and modular synthesizers, drum machines, all that kind of stuff. Essentially, those are just circuits and components that are able to generate noise. And from putting different components into a circuit, you putting the channel onto, you're putting basically your amplifier channel into this circuit that essentially through its own wiring is changing the voltage, the amplitude, and therefore you're able to create or generate different sounds. Those sounds have textures, all that kind of stuff, and I found that pretty cool, honestly.
The career options available to students coming out of this program are numerous. Students have the option to specialize in a specific subpath with the electrical engineering program.
The electronic engineering technology program is broad in scope by design. Our program has multiple options. We've got the electronic engineering technology broad umbrella program. Underneath that, we've got more specific subparts or silos, if you will, if a person wants to specialize.
One of the most attractive features of this program is that it sets students up to seamlessly transfer into a 4-year degree.
So there's a transfer program, the BSEE transfer. So I got 2 more semesters and then I'll be over at MSOE and just complete my bachelor's.
Well, a person could go directly to a 4-year university and get a Bachelor of Science in EE. If they start with MATC, and we do have a transfer agreement with one major university in Milwaukee, then they can complete the associate's degree here, and having met certain requirements, certain GPA, etc., then they can transfer that whole program into that 4-year university. So it's less costly. I have recruiters from companies calling me, asking where can they find more people, more graduates of our program.
Graduates can find opportunities in the engineering field that best suit their niche. Regardless of the direction students choose to take in their career, they will at least be able to assist engineers and producers of electrical equipment by operating test equipment and building circuits.
The outlook in electronics is fantastic.
Prospective students with a high school diploma and 1 year of high school level geometry and algebra, or equivalent, can apply for enrollment at their convenience by going to matc.edu and clicking Apply.
The current job opportunities are flowing in electronics if students can just find the right circuit to network on. Speaking of making the right connections, we are joined today by the Associate Dean of the Creative Arts Pathway, Mark Bergers, who helped put together the Creative Spark event that we were talking about. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Now, talking about Create the Spark event, it's actually quite exciting when I've done my research. Students in the Creative Pathways programs bring their portfolios and the work they've been working on, but it's not just like a science fair for mom and dad to see. Who can see this work?
Great, yeah. So the Create the Spark event is targeted towards industry members and employers in the area that are interested in potentially using our students, hiring our students. It's also targeted towards prospective students in high school programs that would like to see our facilities and also kind of aspire to complete the kind of work that our programs are completing.
Right, and what kind of exhibits can people expect to see?
So there's a portfolio exhibition space where 7 of our programs will have student work, such as hands-on computer gaming trials, animation portfolios, photography, interior design. There's all kinds of different work that the students are not only showcasing, but also interacting with employers and interacting with high school students to tell them about it. There's also a culinary and baking experience. So several of our culinary labs are open to the public. Students are working, putting out samples. The baking program is doing a blind cupcake decorating contest at 5 and 6 p.m. And then we also have live music performances as well as a number of labs that are open and interactive for people to see kind of what our facilities are and how our programs work.
Right, now working in the Creative Pathways program, which as you said includes everything from culinary arts to TV production, how do you keep students inspired? How do you help mold their creativity?
Well, really, the biggest thing is our faculty and staff who are so engaged and so passionate about their disciplines, but also it's the hands-on work. So our facilities here are really second to none. I don't know that a lot of people know that about MATC. And getting the students in and working with the types of equipment that they would eventually work in the professional world is really exciting and inspiring to them. And it's an experience that they can't necessarily get at other 4-year institutions that are a little bit more theory-based. So the students are really excited to get in, start doing, and start creating right away.
Excellent. So a lot of Creative Pathways programs, a lot of opportunities for our students and for the community that wants to come in and see what we're doing here.
Absolutely. It's an open house on steroids, like I said. So it's a lot of fun. It's a jam-packed 3 hours.
Excellent. Well, Mark, thanks for explaining that for us today.
Yeah, of course.
And great success with that program coming up.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Thanks for talking with us today. And thanks to all of you out there. What I want you to know though out there, when Chef Aiyana is cooking over there, she is like a creative library with all my favorite stories in one storybook of food. Aiyana, I hear that you're making a very versatile and creative recipe this afternoon. What's in your pan over there?
Hey, thanks. Today I'll be preparing vegetable fried rice, a simple and tasty classic. Fried rice can be made with all sorts of ingredients, but today we'll be keeping it simple with rice, soy sauce, carrots, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and peas. You'll also need a pan, some oil, and something to mix with. Again, fried rice is highly customizable, so feel free to swap or add in any ingredients you'd like. All right, let's go. I'll start our meal by preparing our vegetables, starting with our carrots, which need to be chopped. We're just going to give these a rough chop. We don't want them too big or too small, just enough to maneuver around in the pan, right? Did you know that not all carrots are orange? Some are white or purple, and they're called heritage carrots, and they're very delicious. Texture and flavor is entirely the same. Carrots are really good for you because they're high in vitamin A, which is crucial for developing eyesight. We're going to go ahead and add these to our pan. Next that we're done with our carrots, let's prepare our broccoli. We'll remove the florets from the head of broccoli. You don't want to have too much of the head in there. And just like the carrots, we're going to give this a rough chop. Just like carrots as well, broccoli also comes in the color purple, as well as is high in vitamins A, C, and K. Our broccoli is ready to go in the pan. And then next, we can move on to our Brussels sprouts. Now, I have them quartered, but I'm going to cut them in half to make them a bit smaller and easier to manage in the pan. Brussels sprouts are a great source of vitamin K. And a fun fact about them, they were named after the capital of Belgium, Brussels. Now that these are ready, we're going to add them all into the pan. And next, we have peas. Luckily, peas don't require any prep, so we're just going to toss a bit into the pan. Now that all of our veggies are in our pan, the next step is to add our oil. Generously oil your pan and saute them for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, the reason why sauteing is so important is a chemical process called the Maillard reaction. Pronunciation varies, it's a French term, and we know how the French are. So we're just going to move these around and cover them in the oil to make sure that everything gets covered, because the interaction of the heat and the fat or the oil is what causes the Maillard reaction. The more surface area you have covered, the more likely you'll get more surface covered in that Maillard reaction, which is the browning and caramelization of whatever fats and nutrients are in the pan. When that's done, it should look something like this. Nice and browned. Now it's time to add our rice and soy sauce to the pan. We're going to go in with our rice just a little bit at a time. And then our soy sauce. Now with the soy sauce, you want to be very gentle with this. You don't want to add too much. You can always add more. You can never take away. That's a big lesson in cooking. And just like the oil, we want to make sure everything gets covered in that soy sauce, because soy sauce is also high in sugar and will help that Maillard reaction quicken. When everything's done, it should look something like this. An easy and versatile dish that you can make in a matter of minutes. Thanks for tuning into today's cooking, and enjoy your fried rice. Back to you in the studio.
That looks delicious, Aiyana. Now let's see what James has for us in this week's MATC Minute.
Enjoy free popcorn this Tuesday at the Oak Creek campus while getting a peek into some future events that just might spark your interest. Popcorn starts at noon in the main hall atrium, so don't miss out. Get your lunch on. On May 6th, the MEC campus is hosting a lunch starting at 11:30 a.m. in the cafeteria to celebrate the end of the year. If that wasn't enough, you can either head to the Oak Creek campus cafeteria and patio for a lunch picnic, or the West Allis campus cafeteria for some treats and music. Mother's Day is approaching, so it would be best to make sure you have a gift for your mom. The Oak Creek campus is hosting a Crafting Memories event in the lower atrium to handcraft some heartfelt memories. The second annual MATC Adult Prom, hosted by the Black Student Union, has officially sold out. If you missed out on a chance for a ticket, well, you can still be a part of making this event a success. Reach out on email or connect with them on social media. If you go, have some fun and take plenty of pics. For more information on these and other events, check out our website at matc.edu.
Thanks for that, James. With the weather slowly getting better, it's about time to get out of the house and enjoy the fresh air. Student producer Nicholas Moore had the same idea and went to a scenic park for this week's hidden Gem MKE.
I'm student producer Nick Moore here at Hubbard Park for another hidden Gem KE. I'm here at scenic Hubbard Park, a nice out-of-the-way location from the hustle and bustle of the city, right alongside the Milwaukee River. Hubbard Park, located at 3565 North Morris Boulevard, is a great place to walk around, relax, and enjoy the coming spring weather. After you go through the tunnel, you'll see an amazing change of scenery. You can have a picnic at the picnic tables, a beer at the beer garden, go bird watching, or simply sit and relax. In 1922, the park was purchased by Shorewood Village President William J. Hubbard. Before that, it was used by the Native Americans for hunting and fishing. I'm student producer Nick Moore, and this has been another Hidden Gem KE.
Hubbard Park is one of my favorite places in the Milwaukee area to escape from the stresses of daily life. I'd like to thank Mark Burgess for being on the program today.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks, James.
All right. And thanks to all of you for tuning in to another episode of MATC Now. I'm your host, James Charles, and we'll catch you again next time.